Guys, so I did promise that we would go back and look at that Raigeki VGCS to kind of look at the premium environment currently in Japan. And I mean, we couldn't look at it last week, unfortunately, because decklog was down, right? Decklog was actually down. So this week, because there's not many tournaments, we are back and we can look at the entirety, basically the top 4 of that tournament, which was a team tournament. So there's 3 people per team, 3 lists per team. So we have 12 lists to kind of go through and kind of see where they're at, right? Because we haven't heard much about premium in Japan. It's only been recently having a resurgence. So it might be interesting to see how maybe far behind they are, or maybe they have some nice ideas. What I'm thinking, right, is that we can see a lot of naive ideas, right? We saw some crazy strats before in some of the smaller tournaments randomly, and in this more premium focused tournament, I think we're going to just still see some of those crazy strats, but you know, maybe slightly more refined. Maybe they actually looked at some of our Western lists and, you know, pick something up from there. So let's get started. First off, we'll start with the first place team. One of their players played Vanquisher. Now, if I was to play premium, absolute beginner in premium, or just want to build a premium deck without really thinking much, I would just build Vanquisher, because it's literally like a V deck, entire V deck, plus some premium collection crits, and then a stride zone. Now, there's actually some non-V stuff, which is just like 2 stride fodders here, but that's very easily included. The rest of it is actually just all V. So if you wanted a V deck, except the Overtrigger core. The Overtrigger is D, but yeah, the rest of it is all pretty much just V stuff. So very easy to build. Maybe. If you're missing like some of the VRs, then maybe it's a bit hard. But if you already had a Vanquisher base, then you're good to go. And the stride zone is literally just Stunverse. The rest of this is just kind of bulk. One thing though, the other thing you might need, I'd say Drachma, not that required. VMAX, sure, VMAX is nice. You're gonna need the G guards. These are all from, a lot of these can be gotten from Revival Collection, Revive Selection. You probably want more Bulwarks, I think. Just a nice big shield. You're not always gonna be going for the Unflipper. So yeah, that's probably the only change I'd say. Add more Bulwarks. The rest of this, like Conquest Dragon, who really needs that? Like Gilgal, it's cute. It's cute. We have Stunverse. Yeah, GB8, you know, a lot of it is just filler, but the bulk of it should be very easy to get. And yeah, if I was either starting out or a newbie, or just wanted to, not really a newbie, just wanted to have a deck for premium, this would probably just be one of the go-to decks, pretty much. Going into the second player playing, this one is Ghosty, I guess, Ghosty Night Rose with 3 break rides. Maybe inspired a little bit by a Solon playing Break Ride, but running 3, that's a bit weird. Lots of teched out stuff, right? Lots of teched out stuff. 4 Columbard, but then we see 1 Greed Shade, you know, 1 Procure, you know, Japan. Maybe just Afraid. I don't know. I'm not sure if I would include this, just because as Grand Blue, I generally wouldn't be that afraid of, especially nerfed Chaos, and then Link Joker, you're like, come on, dude. All your stuff disappears. So I don't know. The Procure is kind of interesting. It's not like you're locking any of your own things yet. But yeah, otherwise, you know, 2 Navigator. I don't really know what to think about this list. I guess the Break Ride is cute. You're just going to probably just going into a big bounty basically every single time, and just putting on the aggression that way. So, I mean, that's cool. But apart from that, yeah, interesting. Very interesting. No Grenache except for the V Grenache, which is cool, because I think when you see people running like the cutlasses, you know, you can just go, okay, I don't need, the game's not gonna last long enough for me to need Grenache anyway, so I'm just gonna cutlass out. Now, not running the grade 1 that sends everything from bind back, that lets you get even more cutlasses, which is pretty nice. I know that's kind of the countercharging engine that I think Kelvin was running. So yeah, not seeing that one, but yeah, it's got some weird things. Limit Break 4 remover. So yeah, I guess it goes off if you combo. It just goes off immediately, so you can big bounty even more. Yeah, I don't know. This one's a bit weird. This one's a bit weird, I have to say, but interesting. Next we have is, I think this one should be gold. As you can see, Decklog is just taking a lot of time to load nowadays for some reason. But yeah, this one is running Gold Paladin. I'm not a huge fan of Gold Paladin, to be fair, because I feel like you get a lot of Spear X's. You can double Spear X, you can triple Spear X, but at the end of the day, it's not as good as it was before, really. It wasn't as good as it was before. This player is actually running the over trigger, so you automatically lose out on just the Ultima, right? Which is a bit sad, right? It's a bit sad. 4 Ezzels. 4 Ezzels as well. That's... I don't know. 4 Ezzels, do you need that much? I mean, we can see they're running the additional Angel Tech as well, so you can kind of get more damage. But Gurgits? Gurgits, really? I'm guessing you could Superior Ride up and then ride Gurgits to scale? And then also have defensives. So that's kind of interesting. You might not even need to, like, stride at some points if you get enough Excel circles. I'm thinking a bit there. Or just go into, what, do you have Glorious Training? Doesn't even have Glorious Training. So I guess the game plan is just maybe Gurgits. We've got Garmor. Alright, Garmor, nice, nice. But yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe the game plan is just Gurgit. Okay, maybe the game plan is actually just Gurgit. You know, scale with Percival, Ezel, go quick, and then try to finish as soon as possible. Right, I can see that. I can see that. All right. Let's move on to the second place team. They brought a Beatrice here as well. This one's much slower list, running Grenache. We see the Grenache here. Some draws. Okay. 4 Columbine, 4 Greed Shade. All right. We've got one of the D Fox as well, the PR Fox, and kind of stop your stuff from getting retired. We do have the I think, is it the Bell? Right? Are they called the Bell? Yeah. So we've got the this is the anti-Narukami card. Also works well with cutlasses, but we don't see that here. But yeah, this one's running V Tommy as well. Okay, all right. That's a no Nightstorm actually. No night. Do we see a Nightstorm in this one? Sorry, the first no Nightstorm in the first Grand Blue list. That's I don't know. Even if you're running Beatrice, you want Nightstorm for the extensions, right? That feels... Not seeing it here feels wrong, right? Not seeing it here feels wrong. I think... I don't know. Grand Blue mains, let me know if not having a Nightstorm in any of your Grand Blue lists is correct. Because I don't think it is. I feel like you definitely should be having... Like, Nightstorm lets you... increases your attack combos so much, right? So not having it... This one is like 4 Bad Bounty and 2 Night Rose, but 4 Bad Bounty? Okay. Alright, I can dig that. No Megiddo, but I guess you can't really Megiddo when you don't have that many Skull Dragons or Nightstorm. No Ghost Ship as well? I don't know. I'm not sure about this Grand Blue list, but it's just I mean, I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm not the best Grand Blue main, but this one doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right, you know. I feel like it's missing a lot of potential power in this deck, right? So, interesting. This one though, this Aquaforce list I find is quite cool. One, they have Pursuit Assault, something that we don't have. But the crazy thing also is that they're running 1 Magnolia, which I really like. So the nice tech with Aquaforce and Premium is you can go first, you can ride up, you can fake stride with Favis into a Lambros, right? And then with Lambros, it stands everything. You do all your multi-attacks, you go back down and get another Excel Circle. But you can also Soul Blast out your Thavis, and then because you can't ride back down to the 3, you can ride back down to the 2 instead, right? While also still having an Excel Circle, which is pretty cool. And then your opponent can't stride. Magnolia also kind of does the same thing, right? Except you just straight up calls another card. Unfortunately, it doesn't stand all your rested units. So that's a bit of a bummer. But yeah, that one does give you triple drive just straight up, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So interesting tech, I'd have to say. Interesting tech. This one's just overall, you know, you get like actually you get quad drive, right? You get quad drive with a +1 drive. So that's even better. That's cooler, right? Quad drive. And then, you know, with the retire. So it's got some nice pressure. You can rush with this deck. You still get like at least 2 attacks. You get a quad drive while calling something out. That's not bad, right? That's not bad. And then you get the Excel Circle if you're riding all the way back down to 2. So pretty cool. Then, yeah, the stride zone is just pretty straightforward. Actually, pretty straightforward. Cyclones, only one Genbolt. Usually I see a lot of people running a lot more Genbolts, right? But yeah. Alright, that's cool. That's not bad. Oh, he's running, ooh, the draw trigger. So, crazy thing about these draw triggers, right? This is actually 10k draw. It's actually a 10k. So I think a lot of people, when we first saw these PRs from Vanguard 0, we kind of went, yeah, okay, you get a trigger on a grade 3, but like you have to sacrifice the power, right? It's 5k. But you know, if you read closely, which like I admit I sometimes have trouble doing, this actually gives 10k power. So there is actually not much detriment except losing out on guard value by running these. I had to learn the hard way when I got attacked by by a Messiah. So yeah, it's not bad. Now here's the thing though, I'm not sure I would run this because it's a grade 3. So sometimes if you're supremely unlucky, you rest this and you soul charge a 3 in, that means you can't ride down to 2 because you can't soul blast 2 a turn. So technically, I think running this 3 draw trigger is a detriment to the deck. So yeah, little things happen. It has happened before. That's why I know. That's why I know it feels bad, you know. All right. Let's see. The last deck that they have here is another gold. This one is purely Gurgit based. Which is interesting. I guess you can just have the fun of running just normal Gurgit, right? You know, V Gurgit, like before, except in premium, where you're allowed to do it. And this is pretty much that deck, I think, except now it has the over trigger. So it's weird. I feel like a lot of the players aren't valuing the Ultima finisher. They just want to play the over trigger, the Martineau over trigger instead. And then just running like V engines. I mean, most of the gold paladin deck is V, but I feel like they're not. No, they're sacrificing such a strong win con to play like maybe a better early in game. I don't know. I feel like the Gurgit first line is still not as strong anyway, but I guess you can just like Spear X, right? You can Spear X to solve that issue. So maybe it's kind of an interesting concept with the gold paladin list, I think. And I mean, all the teams so far has taken at least one, so they definitely like it. Right? Moving on, we have another Grand Blue list. This one is another Beatrice. This looks very similar to the one that we just saw previously, except, how do we say? Actually, I think they're pretty much the same. You know, I think they're pretty much the same. I think this one's just running a serpent, right? A sea serpent. It's probably the only change. A lot of big bounty for it. So I've talked a lot about this one, I think, already. Well, at least this guy's running the ship. This guy didn't run Ghost Ship as well, right? So, okay. I feel like this one's just slightly better. This one's already slightly better than the other list. So yeah, nice. Good job. Next, let's kind of look at this Eradicator build. And Eradicator is kind of I actually like Eradicator more than Vanquisher, I'm not going to lie. And I think they're performing very, very well. Especially like because you get Demolition Dragon, right? Demolition Dragon is so good nowadays. But Vanquisher should be able to get it too, I guess. It should, right? It should. So, yeah, no. Demolition Dragon is just amazing. It's just something so good. It makes Narukami, like, premium... so annoying. It's so annoying to deal with. So many good on-hit cards as well. So yeah, I like the Eradicator build quite a lot. Toby convinced me. It's cool. Also just carried by Stunverse. It's how it is. It's how it is when you create such a good card like Stunverse. Yeah. What's more to say? But, you know, if you guys are looking for a fresh build, Vanquisher or Eradicator, both great builds, I think. So keep an eye out for that. And then lastly, we got the Nazar Eugene build. Now, this is a very fun meme build that I tried a lot, and I like it quite a bit. Again, in Japan, it is slightly better because you do get grade 3 triggers, and grade 3 triggers is where it's at. You know, it's actually where it's at. You want to get as many grade 3s into Soul so you can use Nazar's Soul Blast 3 grade 3 ability to just make them discard their whole hands and make them feel bad. Now, there are some like changes I would do with this deck. I think I wouldn't run this Legion. I would just run straight up the Cross, the Cross. Because if you ride that one first, you can just put in another 3. And then you can also do your multi-attack combos and make your opponent feel bad. before discarding the whole hand the next turn, right? So I kind of would go into the V build instead, and don't worry about this Legion. You also get a force marker or force 2 when you do that, which is great, right? It's really good. It actually serves as like a decent alternate ride. Usually you just always want to go into Eugene, but sometimes when you fail, you at least want to fail into something better, right? So I would go into I would pick the V cross for sure. Some nice combos. I'd probably run more Zambas, maybe like 2 Zambas instead. Because, you know, Zambas, you clear the field, and then Nazar. That's like a field wipe and a hand wipe, so that's pretty GG. But again, they have extra grade 3s because they get the crit trigger. So yeah, it's technically a better deck. But apart from that, fun for you, not so fun for your opponent. But it's a fun meme deck, I think. In terms of a straight like tournament deck, I don't think it's actually how do you say it, consistent enough to last, you know, something like a BRO or even a 6-round tournament. But in locals, it should be fine. Quick way to lose friends though. I guess in trios, you just basically hope your teammates carry you hard while you try and high roll opponents, right? So fun times. Last team, we have a Great Nature. So this Great Nature build, not much. Honestly, there is actually not much going on for Great Nature at the moment. You know, you see a Rhino, you stack crits on it, you stand it a lot. Yeah, that's how it's done. Sometimes you go for the Zor play, but not much there. I think this is a pretty standard premium Great Nature build, I guess. I know some players like running Isabella as well, just so it helps you stack. But you know, that also requires you to run a lot more grade 3s. And Big Belly is just fine in premium, you know, it's fine in premium. So yeah, I can see why you just don't run Isabella, because you just want some less grade 3s, more utility idea. So yeah, I do notice a lot of these players are running the over trigger that is not Stoichea, the non-Stoichea over trigger. I guess it's just they value the 200 million. I know a lot of like us, at first you think, yeah, 200 million is cool because Stoichea over trigger sucks, but after you play a while, Stoichea over trigger is just good in every situation. So yeah, I think it's really down to preference, I guess. But if you're going like super ham, I guess 200 million is nice because it's 100 million more than other defensive over triggers. So I guess that's a good choice. And then we have another Grand Blue. So I did expect Grand Blue everywhere, because it's kind of the first clan that you'll go to, even if you're starting off in premium, right? Like, sure, there is Narukami, but when you think of like what is kind of meta, yeah, Grand Blue is up there, and there's actually a lot of different builds for Grand Blue. As we see, this one is totally different from the Beatrices that we've seen so far. This is kind of more similar to like Kelvin's more aggressive build in BRO, where you're focused on Nitros and you just go ham, you just go face, vomit a whole field, bash phase, get some Codies, etc, and do as many multi-attacks as possible. So yeah, at least Grand Blue has a lot of different playstyles, which I think is great. And there's not really one that I'd say that is confirmed to be the best, right? The best playstyle yet. And I think it's cool, like, you know, Solom on my team, Kelvin on my team, both have totally different playstyles approaching Grand Blue. So yeah, even as like a newbie going into premium, if you're trying to make your best trios team, you'd be going, okay, who wants to play the Narukami? Are you a new player? Alright, you're on Narukami. Alright, someone play Grand Blue, because we kind of know it's good. We know it's good, and then it looks like a lot of them like Gold Paladin, right? And then the last deck here, we actually have Dimension Police. So surprise, is not actually Gold Paladin. This one, Dialina focused, I'd have to say, because, I don't know, the Zeal is weird, right? The Zeal is a bit weird, but then again, if you're not riding Dialina, I think you just straight up lose. Anyway, so, but at the same time, like, why the Zeal, right? Why the Zeal? I guess, I think Zeal can call something else, I think? Or maybe not? Yeah, no, I think it does. Yeah? So, let me just read the effect again. Yeah, so you look at it, yeah, you call. So, it's like a nice plus when you miss ride, but I guess, like, you only can run 4 Dialinas, but then, like, you're losing out on Dizoris and Diarm. So I don't know. I feel like it's just better to kind of max them out. You can run like, you got die prompt, you know, you got grade 3 searches and all that. So just pray you hit it. So yeah, I don't know. There are some changes I would do with this list. You can technically be more greedier as well because you get huge defensive power of Geomaglus. But Dimension Police showing up, right? This is the only Dimension Police in the entire top 4. But that is the last list. That is the last list. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, right, coming from a premium-focused team, it's always exciting to see premium. It's always exciting to see premium. These lists feel very raw. Well, feels like it's at least a good sign, right? It's a good sign. I feel like in terms of Japan's premium scene, I think before, like, recently, they were way behind. But nowadays, seeing some of these lists, at least this list, right? We see some people, some of these lists do kind of leveled up their game a bit. So at least hopefully there's like more tournaments, right? This is the first Raigeki VGCS, but maybe in the future when we see more tournaments roll around, the scene there grows back again, and we can see a big increase in like crazy deck ideas. Right, so that is it for today's list. Let me know what you guys think of premium in Japan in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.